26th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. I would now like to call this meeting to order with the invocation and pledge of allegiance from Council Member Ms. Terry Salter. Please stand.
Giving honor to God. Before we start, let's please keep our Councilman Bill Mello in our prayers, continued prayers. Giving honor to our dear God, Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names to many nationalities. We come before you to thank you all for all that you've done, are doing, and shall do in our lives. We ask your blessings on the people of Orange tonight and all the officials who have been called to lead the community in which we live, work, and play. Thank you for being so good to us all. Not one of us deserve your goodness, yet you are good anyway. Keep your loving arms around us all. Continue to guide us and give all the leaders in this community the strength we need to carry out your work by serving the common good of all. Many leaders make it look easy, but it is not. May Orange continue to move in the right direction that is positive and pleasing to you, Lord. May the great people of Orange of all races build strong bonds. Grant us the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May we all speak out when it is time to speak out and listen when it is time to listen. Guide us all, O Lord, by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. This we pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that we hold good and true. In God's loving Son, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Salter. Now to item 3, motion finding that the advanced posting and notice requirements of Article 8.1200 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Orange, Texas have been met in relation to all minutes and pending ordinances and resolutions on this agenda, and that the reading of such items be confined to the captions as are agreed upon by the ordinances and resolutions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 4, approval of minutes. 4A, February 26th of 2019, Orange Economic Development Corporation meeting. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. 4B, March 12th, 2019, regular city council meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. On to item 5, citizen comments. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes for each speaker, and your comments are appreciated. As the Texas Open Meeting Act does not allow the council to respond to items not listed on the agenda, your comments will be duly noted by the council and forwarded to the appropriate department for prompt consideration. The first name that I have on my list is Mr. Don Enzel. Please come forward, state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Don Insel. My address is 96 West Cypress Avenue. And my question, comment, what I want to know is the city has upgraded its alert system for flooding. Or are they doing anything upgrading the East Town city area for flood evacuations or what? Has that been posted? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Ms. Hillary Gravitt.
Good evening. I just wanted to ask everyone to please mark your calendars for the 17th Annual Art in the Park that is coming up on Saturday, April 6th. This event will be held from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we have at Stark Park, and we have over 100 artists and crafters that'll be joining us around the park. We'll also have children's activities, food vendors, and live entertainment by Walcott. And for additional information, you can go to the Orange Convention and Visitors Bureau Facebook page, or you can call the Orange Convention and Visitors Bureau office at 409-883-1011. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hillary.
Thank you.
Okay, next on my list, I have Mr. Dave DeRozier.
Good evening. My name's Dave DeRozier. I live at 3853 Cochran Street in Orange. Terry Salter and I will be hosting a forum for candidates for City Council on April 11th. We're doing this on behalf of Citizens for an Improved Orange, a loose crew of people originally assembled for a candidate forum back in 2017, of which both the mayor and Councilor Salter attended. Like 2 years ago, the forum will be on the campus of Lamar State College Orange at the new Shahan Event Center. Questions are being prepared for each of the candidates, and additional questions may be submitted by attendees before the event. Doors will open at 5:30 for an early meet and greet with the candidates and for the community to submit their questions for the candidates. The forum starts promptly at 6, and we expect that it will end before 8 o'clock. Although the college is not sponsoring this event, we are expecting the new president of Lamar, Dr. Thomas Johnson, and Dr. Al Barringer, the provost, that they will introduce themselves at the event and may be around for people to meet and talk with them. I'd like to ask our mayor, Larry Spears, to be with us at the opening and perhaps say a few words to the citizens that have assembled to hear the candidates, if you have the time, sir. Activities like this help to educate the public as to who's running and a little bit about what they're like and what they stand for. In my mind, the more educated the public is, the more effective their vote is in setting the direction for our community. My reason for being here is to announce the event and to invite all of you on the council and the public at large to come out and listen to what the candidates have to say, to see and appreciate the new Shahan Event Center on our own college campus, and to meet with our current and prospective city leaders, as well as the leadership at Lamar State College Orange. And remember, voter registration for the May 4th election ends on April 4th, and early voting at the Orange Public Library is the week of April 22nd. Thank you for your time, and I've left flyers with the council members.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, is there anyone else who'd like to address the council at this time? Please step forward.
My name is Richard Gilbo. I stay at 8170 West Ashford, Orange, Texas. So basically, I'm here today with more than half the other towing companies, as well as Mr. Hornsby from Clay Dugas and Associates. After 38 years of service to this community, I feel like I shouldn't have to be down here fighting for my company's survival and the survival of other companies as well. There's a possible ordinance change that includes fees and everything else, and I just feel like it's unfair that we were not included in that. I mean, that is a big part of our business. I know when Keith Merritt became sheriff, you know, he called all the towing companies down and basically said, hey, you know, what do we need to do to get an ordinance that's going to be fair for y'all, for us, for everybody, something that'll work. You know, y'all are out there every day as well as we are. And so we sat down and we figured something up, and it's been that same thing this whole time. We haven't had any problems. You know, for somebody to sit here and basically tell me what I can and can't charge when they have no idea what the cost of doing business is. I mean, these trucks, that's $100,000 for a basic truck. You know, insurance is $6,000 to $10,000 a year. Fuel goes up, you know. All of our drivers, I mean, they're very, very well trained at what they do. I mean, they have to have continuing education every single year. And, you know, they're very good at what they do. That's what lets us get the roadway cleared and get everything back to normal, you know. I mean, the citizens can't pass by on these roadways whenever there's cars out there that are in the way, you know. I feel like that I don't know exactly what is going to be put in place, but I mean, I feel like it's something that should be, you know, addressed with everybody that it basically is going to, you know, harm. So You know, we need to come up with something that's good for us, that's good for the police officers that are on scene. We're all on scene, we work together. The citizens that their cars are getting towed, it needs to be something that works for everybody, you know, and not just one person. So that's basically it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to address the council?
Good evening. My name is Maria Cisneros. I'm the owner of La Palma Taco Truck. My reason to be here is I want to put a carport outside on my business with chairs and tables, and I want to know what steps I can follow to be able to have the chairs and tables outside on my business. I want to invite you everyone to enjoy us. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just give your information to Mr. Kelvin Knopf right here, and we'll get back with you. Give him your name and your cell phone number, and we'll get with you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council?
My name is Robbie Ryder. I'm with Gilbo's Towing. I've been there 20 years. Back in 2008, TDLR, it's Texas license, the Texas Department of License and Regulations, it took over the record industry, basically. They govern the companies, the trucks, every driver in the state of Texas. We have to go to class to even get a license to operate a record truck. And every year, we got to do 4 hours of continuing education in order to keep that license. And that costs money, you know. And TDLR has already done studies on what it costs to run a record business, you know. And the flat rate is what the chief is proposing is, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, what job can you go out there and before you get to the job, before you see it, you already got a price of what you got to charge? I mean, at the end of the day, that's just silly, you know what I mean? I mean, who's going to work at a job that you don't know what you're doing, but you already got a set rate for it, you know? And back in probably 2010, like he said, the sheriff's department basically adopted TDLR's policy, you know, where they don't regulate accidents, they just regulate a non-accident tow, being an arrest, a broke down car, or something of that nature. Because every accident at the end of the day is different. You know, you got more stuff to do. I mean, there's times that I got to dive in the water. I've dove for hours looking for cars. And to tell all I can charge is $175 to dive in the bayou to pull the car out. I mean, it's unfair, you know. And the county adopted that policy. And if it's good enough for the county, it should be good enough for the city. And the city of Vidor just this year adopted that policy as well. The city of West Orange uses that policy. So if it's good for them, it should be good for the city. And right now, every city, like Bridge City, Pinehurst, Orange, West Orange, the county, everybody's got a different rate set of what we can charge. And it'd be fair if everybody got on the bandwagon of the county, you know what I mean? So you can, wherever you're at in Orange County, the prices are the same. I mean, that's like the fairest it could be, you know, so. And I'll use you as an example, Mr. Birch. I mean, you're regulated under TDLR. I mean, hairdressers, plumbers, electricians, air conditioning. But that's like the city coming to your business and say, you got to cut my hair for $25, but you got to cut my wife's for $25 too, which is a great deal for me. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're going to quit cutting women's hair because it's not feasible. You know what I mean? Because we go out there and there's cars flipped over and broke in half. And I mean, it takes hours to do the job. And it's just unfair if I got to pick up an abandoned car on the side of the road for $175 and I got to spend 4 or 5 hours pulling one out of the marsh for $175. I mean, I think it's just silly. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to approach the council? Yes, sir.
My name is Carl Vanderstuck. I'm owner of Car Wars Towing here in Orange. The only fee that was regulated by the state was a private property. Currently, the only fees that are regulated by the state of Texas is private property tow-offs. And from everything that I've learned over the years, supposedly the city's supposed to conduct a survey to figure the cost if they're going to impose a fee. And the state of Texas they figured $255 just on a private property tow-off, and you know, that's nothing compared to working accident scene. So that was based on a survey that they did. I think it was back in 2009 or so when they regulated that fee. But like I said, I think the city has to pay for a survey of what it costs to do this before they can impose a fee on us. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to address the council? Okay, with that, I will close the opening comments and move on to proclamation 6, Gift of Life Men's Health Awareness Day. Proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, whereas the Gift of Life is hosting the 14th annual Champagne and Ribs event, benefiting its Men's Health and Prostate Cancer Program that provides vital health care for Southeast Texas men who cannot afford insurance or high deductibles, and whereas the Survivor-themed event will be held on Thursday, April 4th at the Beaumont Civic Center and recognize 4 outstanding program advocates, physician Todd Clark, MD, attorney the Honorable Jim Mahaffey, Jefferson County Commissioner, Michael Shane Senegal, and business leader Tim Sudella. And whereas the Gift of Life annually screens nearly 600 medically at-risk men and augments its initiatives through regional health care and disaster recovery partnerships to provide free prostate cancer screenings, a battery of vital primary care tests, and essential education outreach at designated strategic sites in Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange. And whereas the Gift of Life pays for all medical costs, including prostate cancer screenings, diagnostic tests, and cancer treatment, and statistics reflect that every detection is the best protection against prostate cancer, with the 5-year survival rate for men who are diagnosed early with localized prostate cancer being nearly 100%. And whereas the Gift of Life, through its health consortium stakeholders that include local physicians and medical entities, along with other dedicated program ambassadors, ensures comprehensive resources and direct care are made available to advance the health and well-being of Southeast Texas men and their families. Since 2000, the Gift of Life has made available nearly 10,000 free prostate cancer screenings and helped extend the lives of 77 men who have been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, therefore, I, Larry Spears Jr., Mayor of the City of Orange, Texas, do hereby proclaim March 26, 2019 as the Gift of Life Men's Health Awareness Day in Orange, and I also urge all men in our community to pursue preventative health practices and early detection efforts.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Mayor and council members, for allowing us this wonderful platform to share the important message of our Gift of Life men's health screenings. As many of you know, because you've been so integrally, even hands-on involved in our program initiatives, we're able to save at least 77 lives, as the mayor had mentioned. Last year, through our free medical services, we diagnosed 3 men who had prostate cancer. We recognized, as we've been doing this program for more than 12 years, that when the men come to our screenings, and certainly since post-Hurricane Harvey, that there's so many other barriers to care in terms of having the deliverance of the social and economic sense of what our services represent. And because of that, we have certainly been privileged and blessed that so many different resources in Orange gather with us at our screening sites that include the Texas Workforce, the Southeast Texas Food Bank, behavioral health, and a myriad of other individuals and medical professionals who generously donate their time because they recognize the importance of providing each man and their family with the health care services that many of us have the advantage from our companies or other resources to have the health providers that are there for us. We've seen in Orange that so many men that come to the screenings, and many of the council members have been there, they're extremely appreciative, but many of them have remarked that so often healthcare isn't the top of their list of challenges because of health in terms of as it relates to housing, transportation, and so many other social deterrents that affect their ability to even access care. And through your generosity and that of Orange citizens and individuals, we're able to bridge that gap so that we can ensure that every man and their families receive these life-saving services. Our party, Champagne and Ribs, is the party of the year, but it's actually a party with a cause. And because of the support of individuals and companies, we're able to give every one of the percentages of the money that's raised directly back to the citizens of Southeast Texas. So on behalf of the Gift of Life, thank you for endorsing our efforts. Thank you for believing in our cause, and importantly, being there for us as wonderful ambassadors to encourage men to come to the screenings. We've handed out flyers. We'll be in Orange on June the 29th, but you can also come to Beaumont or Port Arthur if you're not able to make that particular Saturday. We have over 200 medical professionals and volunteers with us simply to be there to say we care, and the deliverance of compassionate services for all individuals to ensure our life-saving services are provided. So thank you very much for your initiatives and for your belief in our efforts so that we can save lives in Orange. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, on to item 6B, National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Proclamation from the Office of the Mayor of City of Orange. Whereas in federal fiscal year 2018, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed 66,382 victims of child abuse or neglect, including 280 in Orange County. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone in our community. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Texas, and whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that can have lifelong consequences for victims of abuse, and whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and development well-being of children, and whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the meaningful connections and partnerships created between child welfare, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, and law enforcement agencies, and whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that benefit children and their families, and we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families, and whereas the impact of abuse and neglect has long-term personal, economic, and social costs, therefore hurting Texas' future, we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, nurturing environment. And whereas court-appointed special advocates, CASA volunteers, are assigned by the court to speak up for a child's best interest and be a voice for a child in the courts, and whereas every child in care deserves a CASA volunteer, but roughly less than half the children in care do not have a CASA volunteer, and whereas 10,424 CASA volunteers spoke up for the best interest of 29,747 children in Texas last year, and whereas CASA of the Sabine-Neches region, Child Protective Services, foster parents, teachers, and others work to ensure that children in our community have the opportunity to grow up in a safe, loving, permanent home. Now, therefore, I, Larry Spears, Jr., Mayor of the City of Orange, Texas, do hereby proclaim April 2019 as National Child Abuse Preventative Month in the City of Orange, Texas, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. I almost had to drink some water in between. I'm sorry.
He might need it.
That's my first two-pager.
He might need a water.
Because it's going to be on KOGT if it's crooked.
Thank you.
Thank you, council. Thank you, Mayor. It means a lot to bring this type of awareness to the community. When a child is placed in the foster care system due to abuse or neglect, they're often removed from their homes and when they're placed in state care. Many times this is far away from their family, their community, and the places that they love. CASA volunteers, also known as court-appointed special advocates, are everyday people from all walks of life who are recruited and specially trained to advocate for these children and provide a consistent, reliable adult presence for them during this very difficult time in their life. CASA volunteers are assigned to one child or a sibling group to advocate for their best interest in court, in school, and in other settings. They get to know the child and everyone involved in their life, such as family members, foster parents, therapists, and teachers, in order to develop a realistic picture of that child's unique situation. They make recommendations to the judge overseeing the child's case with the goal of ensuring that a child is safe and has the resources needed to heal. So, as you well know, Texas lost 211 children last year to child abuse and neglect. 3 of those were in the service area of CASA, the Sabine-Neches region. 2 of those being in Hardin County and 1 in Orange County. As we're all aware, we've already lost 2 children in Orange County this year. I'm sorry. We would like to invite the community to a vigil on April 2nd in memory of those 211 children that were lost. This vigil will be held at the Orange County Courthouse. We hope that the council and the mayor come out and says a few words. We can't stop until these numbers reach 0. And so I thank you for your support and hope I can continue to count on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Vasquez, what time is that on April 2nd, so we can put?
6 p.m.
Okay,
6 p.m.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, on to item 7, final reading of ordinances. Consider an ordinance providing for the extension of the boundaries and corporate limits of the city of Orange, Texas by the annexation of a 1.285 acre tract of land lying in the Claiborne West Survey, abstract number 27, Orange County, Texas, being out of and a part of that called 2.50 acre tract of land described in an instrument to JMJR Investments LLC of record in clerk's file number 329200 of the official public records of Orange County, Texas. First reading was March 12th, 2019. Mr. Knopf.
Yes, sir. This is a 1.285 acre tract located out on Interstate 10 and adjoining the city limits. The property owners would like to be annexed into the city, and they would like to construct a billboard on that property, and TxDOT won't let them construct a billboard unless it's actually annexed into the city. And the first reading was on March 12th, and this is the second meeting.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. On to item 7B, final reading. Consider an ordinance amending the City of Orange official zoning map, a part of Chapter 12, Planning and Zoning, of the 2000 Revised Code of Ordinances of the City of Orange, Texas, establishing zoning for a 1.285 acre tract of land lying in the Claiborne West Survey, abstract number 27, Orange County, Texas, being out of and a part of that called 2.50 acre tract of land, described in an instrument to JMJR Investments, LLC, of record in clerk's file number 329200 of the official public records of Orange County, Texas, all in Orange County, Texas, as IDC Interstate Development Corridor Zoning District, providing for its official zoning map of the City of Orange, Texas, to reflect such change, providing for an effective date, providing for a severability clause, repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance to the extent of such conflict, and making certain findings relative thereto. First reading was March 12th of 2019. Mr. Knopf.
Yes, sir. This establishes the zoning for the 1.285 acres, and the ordinance provides for Interstate Development Corridor Zoning District, which is the same as the adjoining zoning to the property.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, Final reading, consider an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orange, Texas, amending the City of Orange Code of Ordinances, Article 4.1100, tow trucks, by amending or adding definitions, by amending the regulation of storage yard screening, by amending the regulation of storage facilities, by amending the rotating list of tow trucks procedure, by amending the fees that a tow truck operator may charge, making certain findings relative thereto, providing a severability clause, repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance, and establishing an effective date. First reading, March 12, 2019. Chief Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. During the first reading of this, we went over all the changes that were being proposed to the towing ordinance. And do you all have any questions regarding those, or would you like for me to go back over them?
No, I think we've gone over them enough.
Pardon?
I think we've gone over them enough, unless somebody has a
I just
question.
have a problem with,
Speak
I have a
away.
problem with regulating the fees. I do have a problem with that.
Could it
I
be something we
believe-
table and we talk about?
Pardon?
I would like to table where we possibly go
Okay.
back into a closed session and we discuss that. If you-
You're gonna need a second for that.
In case we have a motion to go and can discuss it again, do we need to have a second?
We're discussing or tabling?
Get what they're doing
She
here.
wants to table.
They're wanting to discuss the
In a
part
closed
with the
session that we
fees.
can make sure we.
If you table the motion, all you're doing is tabling what is being proposed here. If you're contemplating a change in the ordinance, you can table this one, but if you're gonna change it, you're gonna have to start all over and have a first reading. You can't approve an ordinance on first reading and amend it on a second, so you're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Now, if you don't wanna pass anything tonight, you can table this ordinance, and then you can ask the staff to come back and give you something else, and you can start over, but you cannot change this ordinance. You have, because you've already passed it.
You have to
once.
change, so you have to table it.
So if you want to table it, it's fine, you can table it. And if you don't want to pass it on second reading, later on, you can do that. And if you want to start over again and put another one out with different provisions in it, that's fine too.
Okay.
But,
We can just
you
amend a
can't-
section of it,
you
correct?
can't table this ordinance with the intent of
Okay, so we
changing
passed
it. You've got to start over and go, because you've already passed it once.
So how do
And
we,
we
so what do
can't
we have
table
to
the-
say to
Well,
start
if
over?
you want to reconsider the ordinance, the thing to do, she's correct in tabling it. But I didn't want to leave you with the impression that you could table it and amend it. You'll have to start
Oh,
over.
yes. Oh,
But
okay.
tabling it is just fine. It's not a problem.
So we have a
We
motion to
wanna be-
table?
To table, so we
Second.
can talk.
Motion and a second to table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Before we finish out with this, one thing that I did want to say is we had several meetings on this
Yes.
before, and I know that I just had a chance to speak with Mr. Gilbo the other day, and it came up. But you have to understand, from our view, there was 4 or 5 companies in here saying, we're gonna sue you if you don't do this or do that. And so we had several meetings when you said that we left you out or you didn't know about it. I don't know what happened, but they came proclaiming we're gonna sue you if you don't do something. And so we're not silly up here. We're just like trying to do what's right.
And we're completely fine with all the changes except for the fees, and I mean, obviously, all the.
Right, yes, sir. I'm just-
One
right.
is here today saying that that's our only argument is the fees. I mean,
Pass it,
if
and
that's
then
what y'all need to
at some
do
point in the
for
future, come back
everybody
and
else
amend
to
the fees,
be,
and that way all
you know,
the other
okay,
changes would go into effect.
Right. And that's the thing is we're here to do what's right. We want to help.
All the changes are great.
I don't think we ought to.
Right.
I'll mention that.
Right, and we agree with that, but my thing is, I just wanted it to be known by the public, this wasn't done behind someone's back to try to hurt someone, we're here to
My company was
help.
completely unaware that these other companies came up here and done this. They all band together to try to come.
Yeah, 'cause they were deep.
You know, and now that these fees are in place, they're scared
Yeah.
about the fee part, so now they jump back on my side. They're
Mayor,
saying, "Hey,
Mayor, it's not proper for,
I know, I
for
voted it up.
discussion from the audience at this point.
Yes, sir.
That's,
We tabled
that's
it and
out, that's out of order.
Right.
Now, one other thing you can do, if you pass it, you can reconsider and change the fee. If that's the only thing that you want to do, you can amend it and change the fee. If you want to table it now and think about it,
Well,
you
we've
could come
already
back.
voted to table
I'm just
it.
giving you other alternatives. You could come back and pass it and then pass an amendment to the ordinance changing the one item to the fee, of the fee.
That's the only problem.
So,
But we'll table it for now and talk about it later.
So-
Yeah, so we can all.
so all the other changes would then be in place. So you could also, if you want to come back the next meeting, you could pass this and then pass an amendment, asking an amending ordinance and change the one item that seems to be the
We'll
complaint.
work on that.
But we can
My
work on that for you.
Yeah, my statement was, I just want people to know we're here to do what's right, and we're trying our best, and so.
Well, that's.
Sometimes it doesn't go that way, but we can fix it, that's what we're here for.
That's no problem. It's just this back and forth from the audience is
It's against our- I got it.
not allowed.
Yes, sir. Okey dokey, we'll move on to the next. Final reading, 7D.
It's already tabled.
Consider an ordinance amending the adopted budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2018 and ending on September 30th, 2019, in accordance with the charter of the City of Orange, Texas. Ms. Zito.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and the council. This is our first reading for our ordinance to amend our budget. This is our semi-annual amendments. We do this twice a year. And just to remind you, amendments was when we change our budget amounts, but we also have line item transfers, which would be changing from one category, say office supplies, to tools within a department. Those were also included, but we need your approval for all of that. To make it easy, on page 48, I total it for you, and this amendment increases our revenues in the water and sewer fund by $140,000. That is because we have collected more revenues than we expected in our septic fees and in interest. So therefore, we're increasing the budget there for revenue so that we can also increase the budget in another area in water and sewer for some expenses for repairs. So, and the next section is expenditures. So, general fund, we're changing the budget, increasing it $208,000, water and sewer $384,000. The CIP fund $17,900, and special revenues $12,000. So that is just a summary. On page 49, I break out the details for you. Most of this is like the general fund are carry forwards from last year. We're not just using the reserves up. If we don't spend money from last year, obviously it goes in the reserves. But if we still need to finish that project, then this is how we carry it forward. This is how we carry our project forward. So most of this is just carrying those projects forward. Like in the general fund, we're carrying forward the Sunset Drive repaving project. In the water and sewer, we're carrying forward some Jackson Street lift station repairs, and so on and so forth. So therefore, we're not, it looks like we're like asking for more money, but we're really carrying forward most of it.
Okay.
And like I told you, in the water and sewer, we had a windfall, if you want to call it that, of the $140,000. So we're going to use that because our sewer system has been having some problems lately, and we're trying to get all those repairs made. So, and if you wanted to see everything, including the line item transfers, on page 51 is the report from our software that lists every category, every line item transfer, and every amendment.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, very detailed,
you.
thank you.
Yes. Okay. On to item, do we have to make a motion on that, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Motion.
we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Zito. Item 8, resolutions. Consider a resolution authorizing the city to accept a NIBRS grant from the Office of the Governor in the amount of $124,950 for the purchase of public safety RMS and CAD software. Mr. Knopf.
Yes, sir. The City of Orange Police Department has applied for a National Incident Reporting System grant to replace the current public safety software in the amount of $124,950. The current system has been in use since 2005 and is reporting with an unacceptable error rate greater than 20%. This new software will increase accuracy within the state reporting system, as well as offer more features and capabilities the current software does not offer. The funding for this project will be 100% funded from the grant with no match required. And Mr. Zito recommends approval.
I make a motion. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. On to item 8B, consider a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Texas Department of Public Safety Texas statewide interoperability channel plan, TSICP. Mr. Knopf.
Yes, sir. This memorandum of understanding authorizes the use of certain radio frequencies by emergency response organizations as defined by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Office of Emergency Communications and the Texas Division of Emergency Management. This MOU authorizes use of state-licensed frequencies for the purpose of coordination between emergency response agencies and resources. Such coordination may occur during interagency operations, en route travel, or on incident communications in accordance with an incident communications plan. And Mr. Zito recommends approval.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9C, consider a resolution awarding, 8C, consider a resolution awarding a contract to Gulf Coast in the amount of $99,513.08 for the Donwood Drive Road Repairs Project. Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Mayor, Council, thank you. We recently opened bids for the Donwood Drive rehab on the asphalt road section of it. The low bid was in the amount of $99,513. We recommend the award to Gulf Coast Construction in that amount.
Okay, do you have a motion?
No motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Or you gonna be up here a while?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 8D, consider a resolution awarding a contract to CNA Lone Star Flooring in the amount of $71,731.80 for the flooring for city facility located at 812 16th Street, Orange, Texas. Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Mayor, Council. We recently took quotes for flooring at the new City Hall building. And the award, we recommend award the base bid plus both alternates, alternate 1 and alternate 2, for a total amount of $71,731.80 to Lone Star Flooring in that amount.
Mr. Wolf, how many bids came in for this particular?
One bid.
Right. Just
One bid.
just one bid?
We conducted
Really?
we advertised it
Mm-hmm.
because we knew it was going to be at or greater than 50,000 state
Yes.
law. And we conducted a pre-bid mandatory meeting. We had 3 contractors to show up for that,
Mm-hmm.
and we got one bid.
Okay, thank you.
What type of flooring?
Beg your
Mr.
pardon?
Wolf, what type of flooring?
It's a vinyl plank.
Vinyl plank?
The carpet, the old carpet that's in the building now needs to be replaced, and we're going
Where is
to go back with
Where is CNA Lone Star located?
a West Orange.
West Orange, okay. So we're
I'll make
still
a motion.
using local.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'll make a
Local.
motion.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 8E, consider a resolution awarding a contract to Duhan Construction LLC in the amount of $59,342 for the boat ramp boardwalk repair project. Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Mayor. We recently opened bids on this project, the boat ramp boardwalk. It involves a boardwalk, the fishing pier, and the walk bridge over Cooper's Gully behind the pump station. We recommend the award to Duhan Construction, local contractor that's done
Okay.
work for us before, in the amount of $59,342.
Does that include the bumpers and things around where the boat's pulling in?
It takes the rubberized bumpers off. If they get in the way, they're to be removed and replaced.
Okay.
But it does not include the replacement of those bumpers.
Okay. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 8F, consider a resolution authorizing the interim city manager to execute change order number 1 with McInnes Construction Incorporated for the radio read meter changeout. Mr. Wolf.
Yes, Mayor, this is a summary final change order number 1, if you will, on the radio read meter changeout program that we did this year. It increased the amount by $3,126.15, and so the final contract price is $44,661.85. We recommend that change order be approved.
Okay.
Okay, make a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 8G, consider a resolution of the City
Thank you.
Council of the City of Orange, Texas, authorizing the interim city manager to enter into a contract with Southeast Texas Lawn and Maintenance for mowing vacant properties that are in violation of the Code of Ordinances. Mr. Nall.
Yes, sir. We opened bids for the mowing contract for vacant properties that are in violation of the Code of Ordinances due to high grass and weeds. We sent out bid specifications to 3 vendors and advertised in the Orange Leader and also on the Association of General Contractors website. We received 1 bid, and that is from Southeast Texas Lawn and Maintenance, and they have been doing the mowing for the past couple of years, so we're familiar with them.
Okay.
And we would recommend that you award the bid.
Is he local? I just was wondering. Is
Southeast
this
Texas
company
Lawn
local?
and
What do you mean
Maintenance.
by vacant properties? Is this no structures? Just-
Nobody lives there.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that we've acquired because no one would take care of it.
Yeah.
made it tear
Or
the
we get
building
complaints
down.
about
Okay,
they
so
may be
we-
private property that
Okay.
are in violation of the code that have
Okay.
high grass and weeds more than 12 inches tall.
Right, right.
The stuff
And we
is
go out
built
and
so-
I do have a
It's the
question.
properties that we've
Acquired.
acquired.
Mhm.
Well, it's not necessarily, it's
Not
other
all.
private property too. It's not just
Private
property that
properties as
we've
well.
But we
acquired,
gotta
it's
take care of it.
properties that are in
Yes.
violation
Acquiring the
as well.
responsibility.
Yes.
Now, when we do that, do we notify the owners for those that?
Yeah, we notify them
that
that they're in violation, give them an opportunity to mow it. Now,
And
a
they
lot of
receive a
people,
fine?
yeah, a lot of them that we mow are out-of-town people. They live off in
Right.
California or New York or somewhere and have no interest in the property. And so those are ones that we tend to mow every year, you know.
And do
just
they
because-
receive a citation for that?
They receive a lien on the property.
Oh, okay, I got
Okay.
you. Until they pay.
Until they
Yeah.
pay it.
That's right.
So
Okay.
moved. Second.
Well,
Okay, we have a
at
motion
time of
and a
closing,
second.
they pay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9A, consider a motion acknowledging changes made to the early voting locations, election judges and alternate judges, and election workers' pay for the City of Orange, May 4th, 2019 general election. Mr. Nall.
Yes, sir. This approves 3 locations instead of 1 location for the early voting period, and it changes the election judge and the alternate judges.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9B, consider a motion approving action taken by the Orange Economic Development Corporation to enter into an agreement with Real Southern Cooking for the expenditure of funds for infrastructure improvements at 1111 Green Avenue, Orange, Texas, in an amount not to exceed $55,000 for the purpose of economic development. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir, Mayor. As you mentioned, this is a follow-up to action taken this evening by the EDC Board of Directors with a motion to approve a incentive not to exceed $55,000 to move this project forward. Just a couple of comments. It's proposed that at a $96,000 project, I have a rendering of it over here to your right and my left, which is Real Southern Cooking Restaurant, which is located across from the train depot on Green Avenue. Of the $96,000, the project owner, Mr. Michael Rhines, has already committed $50,000 for such items as dirt work, concrete, wood framing, electrical, and fencing. The remaining scope of work will include fire suppression, plumbing, kitchen equipment, and signage. There will be approximately 3 to 5 full-time employees that will be associated with this project. So it's before you as a council in terms of moving the project forward. We have finalized the public hearing at the last EDC meeting, so we're currently in the 60-day waiting period that the state of Texas mandates as we work through structuring the agreement and allowing for additional public input. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I would like to recuse myself from this, please.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have anything.
I'll make a motion to
Approve.
approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? I'll second it.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9C, consider a motion approving the resignation of Michael Yater as a Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board member effective March 26, 2019. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir, Mayor. So Mr. Michael Yater served as the Vice President of Student Services at Lamar State College Orange, and he recently accepted a new position at a different college in the state of Texas, but outside of our area. So as a result of that, he did submit his resignation. So we have to take action on it at this point in time.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 9D, consider a motion approving the appointment of Rose Seymour as a Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board member for a 2-year term effective 3/26/19 to 3/26/21. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir, Mayor. So I would like to acknowledge that we do have Ms. Rose Seymour with us tonight, and most of us know her as being the dynamic leader that is leading the activity level at the train depot. She is the point of contact, and we've seen it on a weekend basis ever since we had the formal grand opening. So with that in mind, Rose has formally submitted an application for your consideration, and so it's before you now for formal approval.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9E, consider a motion approving the appointment of Michael Smith as a Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board member for a 2-year term effective 3/26/19 to 3/26/21. Mr. Trahan.
So yes, sir, Mayor. As we all know, Mr. Michael Smith currently serves as an EDC board member who was with us earlier this evening for the EDC board meeting. And as a result of recent action that you've taken to allow a member of one board or commission to serve on another, he became eligible to serve. I think the exception is the Planning and Zoning Commission and Board of Adjustments, or if I'm correct, are the two boards that won't allow that. But in this case, because he serves on the EDC board and he is willing to serve on the advisory board for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, he is eligible, subject to your approval. Thank you.
Do we now make a motion?
Second.
We have motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 9F, consider a motion approving the reappointment of Wendy Elliott as a Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board member for a 2-year term effective 12/31/18 to 12/31/20. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, sir. So Miss Elliott unfortunately had a scheduling conflict for tonight, and she couldn't join us, but we all know her from being part of the Letcher Theater staff in terms of supporting all of the productions that at that particular venue. But she has served in the past, and she is willing to continue serving, subject to your approval. Thank you.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so
Motion
much.
passes. Item 9G, discussion and possible action regarding necessary business resulting from Hurricane Harvey. Mr. Knopf.
No action or business.
Okay. Item 10, reports. City Manager report.
Yes, sir. In a little over a year from now, on April 1st, 2020, is official Census Day, in which the federal government will take a census. Now, you'll be able to go online before that day and fill out your census, but that is the official Census Day. In the meantime, you're going to be hearing a lot more about the upcoming census to encourage people to fill out their census and return their census, because that helps determine federal funding for programs, including programs that the city of Orange and the Orange community benefit from. So it's critically important that we have everybody in Orange be counted in the census that comes up next year. Now, to do that, the Census Bureau is currently taking applications for jobs to work at the census. And people can go online and apply for a job with the Census Bureau at 2020census.gov/jobs. And they're paying very, very well for that, but we really need people to work it to make sure that all the census information is collected and that Orange is accurately represented when the census comes out.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all I have.
That's it. Okay. City Council report, starting in my right.
Well, thank everybody for coming out. If you wish to be on a board, please check our city site. We list the openings of it. Fill out an application, and as you see, it's painless, and if you want it, you normally get it. I would like to ask for prayers for my pastor's wife, Sherry Sheffield. She had surgery today for kidney stones. Also for my niece, who we call the dear, Madison Helms. as I left the hospital, she was being rolled in for an emergency appendectomy. And prayers to her, I understand a robot's going to do the surgery, so we'll see how that works out. And thank everybody else for coming. Men, remember your prostate health. It's very important.
No report.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Let's keep Bill Mello in our prayers, and just I just want to say thank you all again for coming out, and God bless you all.
I just want to say thank you for coming. Let's remember to serve your community, not just in this capacity, but anything you could do. So it's all giving.
With that being said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.